All right, we are looking at the Kouri Richins memorandum, but we've just read the whole thing. I mean, not the whole thing. Should we start again from the beginning? I've read it twice now. Let's just start where we were. Ah, fuck it. The defendant chose poison. Jurists throughout time have recognized the particularly heinous nature of homicidal poisoning of all species of deaths. The most detestable is that of poison, because it can, of all others, be the least prevented either by manhood or forethought. The Florida Supreme Court has called poisoning a conscienceless, pitiless crime. The California Supreme Court observed a murder carried out by deliberately giving a victim poison is more cruel and aggravated than other malicious or intentional killings, both because such a killing involves preparation and planning and because the killer intentionally deprives the victim of any chance of escape or self-defense. The poisoner acts surreptitiously, thus avoiding detection, often betraying the most intimate trust, the love sandwich. Oh. Here, the defendant betrayed the most intimate trust of her husband and her children. The defendant decided that Eric Richins' money, his money, was worth more than his life. Courts have constantly recognized that spousal murders motivated by money are especially egregious. In one such case, the Arizona Supreme Court observed the killing in this case did not arise out of the heat of passion, fear, struggle, or attempt to escape. The killing was not just the result of monetary premeditation, but the defendant's deliberate, carefully conceived, meticulously planned, and cold-blooded scheme to kill. Love that phrase. It sounds like a Steven Seagal movie, doesn't it? What was that movie? It was Something to Kill. I think it was Hard to Kill. And not to spoil it for you, he doesn't die in the end. Everyone else does, or gets like their neck broken. But Stephen's okay. And we knew that going in. The New Jersey Superior Court observed these killings do not stem from some powerful visceral emotion, but rather from greed and expedience. Furthermore, few crimes display a more callous disregard for human life than the premeditated decision to seek profit by way of homicide. It evidences an abandonment of all of the rules that society has constructed to maintain communal life and warrants the fullest condemnation and retribution. I mean, this is good, isn't it? He's calling her the worst imaginable person ever. Not just the worst one who is alive today, but throughout history. All people, dead and alive. The worst one is Kouri Richins, and that is what Mr. Bloodworth is telling to the judge and the court, right? And very well, very nice. B, the impact on the victim's family is irreparable. Fathers are not meant to bury sons, and losing a sibling is losing a piece of yourself. But there are no greater victims in this case than Eric's 3 young boys. Those boys. Hashtag those boys. I want to see that all day tomorrow. Okay? The whole day. Not every day, just tomorrow. Boy day. The defendant took both their parents from them. The aggravated murder was a crime of domestic violence in the presence of children. Eric Richins was a good husband. He cared and provided for his wife. What about dishes in the sink, Eric? What about that squeaky, patio door, Eric? How long has it been now, Eric? When did you say you were going to fix that and we didn't need to get someone in because you're handy? Eric? 6 months ago, wasn't it? Eric? Eric Richins was a good husband. He cared and provided for his wife and even protected her from herself. Are you sure you weren't, busy with taxidermy? Sorry. Eric was a good father. He knew that the defendant tried to murder him on Valentine's Day, and he also knew that it was unsafe for his children if he were to leave the home. Eric died protecting his boys, and they know it. CR was 9 years old when his mother murdered his father. He is now 13 and wears his father's clothes to school. Really? Well, he was quite a big guy. Maybe he had a growth spurt, CR. Following Eric's death, DCFS supported a finding of emotional and physical abuse by defendant against CR. See state sentencing exhibit. So she's beating the kids. Kill the dad, beat the kids, spend the money. I'm going to close on the house now. Do you think you can handle the funeral arrangements? And by the way, his final wish was that, he wanted to be cremated quickly, with no questions. That was his final wish. Cremate my body, destroy anything that could lead back to my wife. What else did he? He and his brothers have participated in intense therapy since the defendant was arrested 3 years ago. CR wants the court to know that, quote, my dad was a good person and very thoughtful and kind and helped whoever needed help. Okay, thank God he didn't say he would give the shirt off his back. Whoever needed help, and that I'm afraid if she gets out, she will come after me and my brothers. You fucking know it. With a sandwich, with 3 sandwiches. BLT, standard cheese, and pastrami rye. Classics. I think she would come and take us and not do good things to us, like hurt us, or make us a sandwich. I miss my dad, but I do not miss how my life used to be. I don't miss Kouri. I will tell you that. They've been brainwashed. That's all this is. They've been brainwashed. No, that sister of his brainwashed my boys. It's not their fault. They were brainwashed. AR was 3 weeks shy of his 8th birthday when his mother murdered his father. The defendant made AR her alibi. Trial exhibits. I was in the other room. My youngest needed me to attend. So I did what any mother would do. I went and hid in there until Eric stopped choking and gasping and calling for help. Then I went to check what was going on. Thereby condemning her child to be a material witness. If called to testify at trial, AR would have recalled being put to bed early on March 3rd, without bathing, which was unusual for the boys. The television was playing loudly inside his parents' bedroom, and when AR tried to enter, he found he was locked out. AR used a broom to try to dislodge a key from above the door frame, intending to lock the door and enter the bedroom. What? I can't even conceptualize that by reading it. How is a 7-year-old coming up with that? What did he do? Let's go through it again. He used a broom to try to dislodge a key from above the door frame, intending to unlock the door and enter the bedroom. Okay, so on the outside, get a kitchen stool or something, son. You know. Not an engineer, I guess. That's okay. AR accidentally hit the wall with the broom, making a noise that attracted his mother's attention. She yelled at AR to go away. She later entered his room and asked him what he needed. AR pretended to be asleep because he was angry with her. Later during the night, his younger brother, WR, woke and tried to enter his parents' bedroom to sleep with them, as was his habit. WR also found himself locked out and slept in AR's bed instead. AR would have testified at trial that the defendant did not sleep in his room with him the night she murdered his father. See State's Sentencing Exhibit B and BT. AR wants the court to know that, quote, my dad can't be my coach anymore and can't be at any of my games. He won't be at my birthdays and can't teach me how to drive. He won't be at my graduation and he can't take me camping or fishing. And I don't want the defendant out of jail because I will not feel safe if she is out. With her in jail, I will be able to continue to feel safe and live a happy and successful life without fear of her hurting me or anyone I love. And this is written without any coaching, because that would surprise me. Not to devalue it at all, but it's coached. WR was still in preschool when his mother murdered his father. He has now lived half his life without his father and 3 years without his mother. His memories of both are limited. He remembers being scared the night of his father's murder and wetting his pants while held in the bedroom before his aunt Katie arrived with WR. Once the courts, WR wants the court to know that when someone talks about Kouri, it makes me feel hateful and ashamed. She took away my dad, and that if she got out, I would be so scared. I'm worried that she would take me away. Or once she is gone, I will feel happy and will feel safer and relax and trust people more. If the defendant serves 25 years in prison, she could, close quote, back to Bloodworth. If the defendant serves 25 years in prison, she could potentially be paroled at 57. Wow. Her sons will be 36, 35, and 30, and likely will have their own families. Or be gay. Give the tremendous trauma and upheaval that the defendant inflicted upon their childhood. The court should ensure that she does not harm their adulthood. Not only should the defendant serve her life in prison, but she should serve her boys' lives in prison. This is best closure, and this is best closure her children can hope for. Only the court can give it to them. Katie and Clint are now raising 3 boys that require extraordinary love, support, and stability. And cost a fair bit as well, right? It is best for the boys, and everyone is thriving. But Katie and Clint never planned for it. Katie never planned to administer an estate and a trust and tackle vindictive litigation. Gene never planned to work the family ranch at his age without Eric. Katie and Amy both live with guilt for not doing more to protect their brother from his wife. The aggravated murders impact extends beyond Eric Richins' family. Josh Grossman bears the weight. Don't we know it? God, he's got the weight of 1,000 sad clowns. Josh Grossman bears the weight of knowing that he contributed to the defendant's motivation to murder Eric. It has gutted him. Chelsea Barney bears similar weight, knowing that the defendant murdered Eric in some measure to salvage Miss Barney's life savings. It haunts Carmen Lauber that she unknowingly provided the defendant with the fatal drug. Cody Wright and Josh Kays question whether they could have done more to save their friend. The defendant's character is irredeemable. Irredeemable. What is the literal definition of irredeemable? Beyond remedy, hopeless, incapable of being corrected, improved, or reformed. Yeah, it's the word you want to use, Bloodworth, isn't it? No other synonym will do. Irredeemable. The defendant is transparent. Evidence of her character is well known from all stages of the proceeding, to include her prioritizing a facade of success over everything, her fraudulent borrowing, her stealing, her best friend's life-saving, her persistence in murdering Eric after failing on Valentine's Day, her self-publishing a children's book for money and attention. Yeah, she's like, oh, how much do I get per book? $5. So all I need to do is sell 100,000 copies and that's $500,000. Well, we should do that in a day. When can I go on TV? And the aim of her walk the dog letter, among a slew of other examples, the defendant cannot check her ambition. Check your ambition. I like that. Check your ambition, okay? Check it at the door. The defendant cannot check her ambition or her sense of entitlement. When confronted, she lies. When she feels aggravated, she attacks. And she certainly feels aggrieved. She always has. Yeah, since she was scrubbing those toilets all summer. In the immediate aftermath of the guilty verdict, the defendant blamed a corrupt prosecution, Bloodworth, a corrupt judge, and unfair Summit County jurors. See State's sentencing exhibit 6 weeks following the guilty verdict. The defendant text messaged an admirer. An admirer, huh? I'd love to know more about that admirer. I will expose this county. I will expose this county. The prosecution, the judge, the Richins, the investigation, all of it, so they can lock me away. So they can lock me away for now. That's fine. That's fine. It's going to come back to them. It's going to come back on them. It will come to an end. Not this year or next, but I'm not going away. I won't be silent. I am going to expose them all for what they have done to me, my kids, my family. This injustice. They picked the wrong one. They think sentencing is the end, closure. It's just the beginning. They haven't seen anything yet. And then there's wow. God, that's quite the statement, isn't it? Most telling of her character, the defendant attacked Eric. Within hours of her arrest, she for the first time blamed Eric for his own death. Yeah, it was, he had been down to Mexico recently. What was he up to? She, for the first time, blamed Eric on his own for his own death. See, states from jail, the defendant and her family engaged in open season on Eric the Dead. Releasing what they believed to be damning information about Eric to the media. Memorandum opposing motion to suppress letter. During trial, the defendant falsely accused Eric of having an affair with a co-worker and a homosexual affair with one of his best friends. The Richins children are familiar with the inescapable media coverage of this case. Many of the defendant's attacks against the Richins family permeate the record. For example, she throat punched Amy Richins 2 days after murdering Eric. When Amy informed her of the Eric Richins living trust. Eric created the trust to protect her and their children. 4 days later, she hired counsel to breach the trust. She told Jean Richins that Eric died of the same lung mold that killed Jean's wife. Yeah. No, I heard from the autopsy. Yeah, not good. It was lung mold. Again, I know. Lung mold. Probably all that time he spent in the shower. The mildew got into his respiratory system. Like his mother before. Lung mold. Imagine if the fucking autopsy examiner put that on the cause of death. Manner of death. Natural causes. Cause of death. Lung mold. And then just one word sentence. Cruel. Cruel. In the Walk the Dog letter, the defendant instructed her mother to release photographs of Katie's young children to the media and wrote, "Bring me home and then we'll get those damn bitches," referring to Eric's sisters. When confronted with the letter, the defendant insisted in the face of all reason that it was part of a freaking book, a half-true, half-fiction novel about her incarceration. You know, what happened after the success of my book on Amazon, the 13 copies that I sold? I got to jail and I thought, you know what? Now I have the time to really work on something special. I'm going to do my memoirs. A fictional character about a poisoning death. Other than the defendant's attacks against the Richins family... What? Other of the defendant's attacks against the Richins family are new to the record. I love this new to the record stuff. It's great. For example, when the estate investigator found bank statements with Kouri Richins' Realty's account header and C&E's account details, how much whiteout do you think she went through in the office? Can you head over to Staples? I'm going to need another 16 cases of whiteout for my document modification. Account details. The defendant accused Katie and hired counsel to advocate for the criminal prosecution of Katie. Arrest her! Arrest her! You know what she did? Her neck fell on my fist. While detained pre-trial, she caused her family members to pursue federal firearms charges against Jean for removing Eric's firearms from the Willow Court home for safekeeping. File false reports with DCFS against Katie and report Amy Richins to the police for marijuana possession. To this day, the defendant maintains insurance policies on the lives of her children. The Richins family will not be safe if the defendant is ever paroled. The defendant's attacks extended beyond the Richins. While detained pre-trial, the defendant caused her family members to file unfounded bar complaints against the Summit County attorney and chief prosecutor and post a gay dating profile of the lead detective online. Get his gay profile, put it on Facebook, I don't care, show his wife, he's been on gaydar looking for men to suck. Oh. The defendant also made an unfounded criminal complaint to the FBI about Eric Richins' business partner. The defendant's character is evident despite her well-crafted facade. Eric, surviving Valentine's Day 3 years ago. Eric surviving Valentine's Day, 3 years of pre-trial detention, and a resounding guilty verdict has only amplified the worst of her character. Yeah, really. Just when you thought she couldn't get any prettier, right? Sue them all. No, I want to claim and put that guy's gaydar on Twitter. It did not remedy it. She has expressed no remorse and has indeed publicized the opposite. The irrational nature and circumstance of the aggravated murder, its irreparable impact on the Eric Richins family and others, and the defendant's irredeemable character prove overpowering aggravation. Overpowering aggravation. How do you... I think when we saw Charlie Adelson's sentencing and Dan Rashbaum just said, "Oh, yes, Your Honor, and if we could just, please, for the record, ask for the minimum." And that was it. What is Nesta going to be saying tomorrow? Quite a bit, I think. I think, she likes to talk, doesn't she? She just sees this as one big ad campaign for her business. I was on the Richins trial. Actually, I think they're doing the, what is it? Coburger or, no. What? They're doing another known case. Well, they did one before, I can't remember. Accordingly, the defendant has earned the maximum punishment, short of death, which I think we can still do, which is firing squad in Utah, isn't it? I mean, that'd be great. Think of the ratings. LWOP combined with the... Accordingly, the defendant has earned the maximum punishment, short of death, and public safety requires her permanent incapacitation. She has well established that rehabilitation is beneath her. That's kind of a funny one, isn't it? You might normally phrase that in a way of saying she has well established that rehabilitation is beyond her reach, not within her capabilities, right? But they've done it different. They've said she has well established that rehabilitation is beneath her. She looks down on it. LWOP combined with the intense publicity cultivated by the defendant and her counsel will also deter would-be poisoners from coldly murdering their spouse and their child's parent. The court should sentence consecutively on counts 2 to 5. The gravity of the attempted aggravated murder is that the defendant learned from her mistakes. The gravity of the attempted aggravated murder is that the defendant learned from her mistakes. Double the dosage. I need more. Twice as much. I'm going to make him a big sandwich, a 3-foot fucking hoagie, and bring it to him at work. And leave it on his car seat in Utah. Okay, it's February, but still could get hot, still could get warm. Actually, it was cold up there, wasn't it? What am I thinking? Well, yeah, it's a big state. They got snow, they got sand, they got everything. They got it all. And beehives everywhere. She learned to obtain something stronger. Something a little stronger. I like that stuff, that recreational drug that I used and got high. Yeah, I liked that, but I want a little stronger. Do you have anything a bit stronger? What about the Michael Jackson stuff? Do you have any of the Michael Jackson stuff? And to administer it in a way that prevented Eric from realizing the poison's effect until it was too late. In a drink right before bed. Knock him out. The circumstances of the attempted aggravated murder are identical to the circumstances of the murder. The gravity and circumstances of the frauds and forgery punch above the charge's weight because they encompass the defendant's motive for murdering Eric and the pecuniary gain aggravator. The defendant's character, as discussed in I See Supra, is irredeemable. Accordingly, the defendant earned distinct punishment for counts 2 to 5, and the court should sentence them consecutive to any other sentence. The court should enter a continuous protective order in favour of Eric Richins' family members. The defendant was convicted of domestic violence, aggravated murder, and attempted aggravated murder. Utah's Criminal Protective Order statute provides that when a perpetrator is convicted of a domestic violence resulting in a sentence of imprisonment, that it is to be served after conviction, the court shall issue a continuous protective order at the time of sentencing, limiting the contact between the perpetrator and the victims unless 1. The court determines by clear and convincing evidence that the victim does not have a reasonable fear of future harm or abuse. The protection may include any order the court considers necessary to fully protect the victim and members of the victim's family. Okay. Here, Eric Richins is the only victim under Utah's crime victim statute. Paradoxically, Eric Richins' family members, including his children, are not victims. It is evident that Eric Richins does not have a reasonable fear of future harm or abuse anymore. He's dead, which is the Criminal Protective Order statute's threshold inquiry. Thus, the Criminal Protective Order statute yields the absurd result that family members of domestic violence murder victim are left unprotected when family members of all other domestic violence crimes can be protected. Let's look at this again. Here, Eric Richins is the only victim under Utah's crime victim statute. Utah Code 77382(9)A. Paradoxically, Eric Richins' family members, including his children, are not victims. It is evident that Eric Richins does not have a reasonable fear of future harm or abuse. Little sarcasm there, Bloodworth. Which is the Criminal Protective Orders Statute's threshold inquiry. Thus, the Criminal Protective Order statute yields the absurd result that family members of domestic violence that family members of a domestic violence murder victim are left unprotected when family members of all other domestic violence crimes can be protected. Yeah, that does seem strange. Do you think we're going to pass Richins law in Utah? There's going to be a new legislature. That'd be cool. Like the Markel Act, the Eric Act. But I do want to look that up in a second. This is where the absurdity doctrine comes into play. Courts will apply the absurdity doctrine when the operation of the plain language is so overwhelmingly absurd that no rational legislator could have intended the statute to operate in such a manner. Fucking hell. Wow, this is great. He's changing the law. The standard... This standard is satisfied only if the legislature could not reasonably have intended the results. Bagley v. Bagley. Who won? Who won in Bagley v. Bagley? It was close, but Bagley got it. They should at least have a first initial or something. You know, Bagley v. Bagley. My money has been on Bagley. Oh. That's a long reference. It's the rest of the page. Oh, sorry. This standard is satisfied here. Clearly, the legislature could not have reasonably intended to expect the family members of domestic violence murder victims from protection. Except, the defendant's conduct and the victim impact statements firmly establish that it is necessary for the court to protect CR, AR, and WR from their mother, as well as Eric Richins' father and his sisters and their own families. Anyone can appreciate the family's Anyone can appreciate the family's fear resulting from the defendants maintaining insurance on the boys' lives. Yeah, take that away. The insurance company should take that away. Void. We're keeping the money. Don't know. No settlement. No dice. See State Sentencing Exhibit F, G, and H. Nice and in order. Accordingly, the court should issue a continuous protective order under Utah Code 78B-7-804 paren 3 paren B and paren D paren V. That prohibits the defendant from contacting Eric Richins' family members unless they first initiate contact, and prohibits her from maintaining or benefiting from insurance on the lives of CR, AR, and WR. You wouldn't want to have those letters in Scrabble, would you? I've got a C, 3 R's. Are there any words that are triple R? C, R, A, R, W, R. What's the longest word we can make? Car. Car. I'm usually better than that. There's no other letters on the board. If there were other letters on the board, I'd probably get triple word score. Easily. That's the nature of the game. You gotta get to those corners. The court should order the defendant to pay restitution. Yeah, we read the $3 million up above. Utah's Crime Victims Restitution Act requires district courts to determine restitution for any pecuniary damages proximately caused by a defendant's criminal conduct, State v. Blake. Insurance companies are victims. Who told you that? The insurance company told you that, didn't they? We're victims too. Tell the judge, we want to make a statement at sentencing and be compensated immensely. It's our favorite thing to do. Insurance companies are victims under the statutory definition. State v. Dominguez. Additionally, the defendant is a killer within the meaning of Utah's so-called Slayer statute, which provides that a wrongful acquisition of property or interest by one who kills another shall be treated in accordance with the principle that a killer cannot profit from the killer's wrong. So this is the Slayer statute, which provides that a wrongful acquisition of a property or interests by one who kills another shall be treated in accordance with the principle that a killer cannot profit from the killer's wrong. I love that. That's great. That's how a law should be written, you know. 3 clauses. Maybe. The defendant received $1,017,018.49 from Auto Owners Insurance Company and $352,562.61 from True Stage Insurance Company as the beneficiary of insurance on Eric's life. The insurance companies paid out as the result of the defendant committing aggravated murder as convicted in count 1. Moreover, True Stage paid out because the defendant committed insurance fraud and forgery as charged in counts 3 to 5. Accordingly, the court should order the defendant to pay restitution to Auto Owners Insurance Company in the amount of $1,017,018.49 and True Stage Insurance Company to the amount of $350. 5. The court should order the defendant to pay recoupment to Summit County for that gaydar prank. After Ray, Quinny, and Nebica abruptly withdrew from this case in May 2024, the court declined to require the defendant to complete an affidavit of indignancy, citing Fifth Amendment concerns. The court declined to require the defendant to complete an affidavit of indignancy, citing Fifth Amendment concerns. What does that mean? So maybe we'll learn if we go on. Order appointing indignant counsel the court found that the defendant was indignant on the sole basis of former counsel's representation that the defendant does not have access to financial resources sufficient to retain private counsel. She even tried to skimp the money on her lawyer. It's like, oh, I've got a murder charge. What do I need to do? Get a good lawyer, right? That's what everybody should do. But how much does it cost? Because I've just got this $1 million and I just like seeing it in the account. I log in, I check, and it's there. It says millionaire. And I love that. It's the spark of my day. So how about we fake our documents, tell them I don't have any money, and they'll give me a lawyer for free. You'd think you might want to pay. If you've just been given $1 million for nothing from an insurance company because you lied on the forms, that's the perfect time. That would get the kind of defense. Well, maybe not, because she ended up paying, but the defendant, on the sole basis, the former counsel's representation that the defendant did not have access to financial resources sufficient to retain private counsel. Summit County thus became statutorily obligated to provide defense services to the defendant. The cost of these services will exceed, look at this. Oh, okay, that's right. So Summit County paid for Nestor, and is that right? Yeah, I remember now. The cost of these services will exceed $1,391,943.98. And 10% for his manager, right, Soap? Right, Soap? If the court learns that an individual provided with indigent defense services, it is in fact not. Which one is it? Indigent. Yeah, indigent. The court shall order that individual to pay the indigent defense system the cost of services. Utah Code 78B-22-102. The defendant continues to litigate claims to Eric's premarital home and a share of the trust res. To the extent any of these assets or any other assets are adjudicated to the defendant's property, the court must order 1 million. So this is going to be in play tomorrow. The 1.3 million of those assets paid to the Summit County as recoupment for indigent defense services. Additionally, the court may order a defendant to pay costs for expenses incurred by a political subdivision of the state for attorney fees of counsel aside to represent the defendant. To the extent that the defendant or her representatives or assignees receive any money that is not subject to the profit from notorious criminal activity act, the court should order 1.3 million of the money be paid to Summit County as recoupment for indigent defense services. Conclusion: the court should sentence the defendant to life without parole. Among the state's other sentencing requests, this sentence is appropriate considering the crimes that she committed. Hey, look, we've got video now, so I can point at things with a pen, like they all do, right? Where's the thing? The impact, the sentence is appropriate considering the crimes that she committed, their impact on the children and Eric Richins' family, and her irredeemable character. This sentence serves the interests of society which underlie the criminal justice system. More importantly, no other sentence can provide CR, AR, and WR the comfort and protection that they need and deserve. That's really Judge what is it? Mrazek. Judge Mrazek isn't going to have any problem with this at all, is he? Not one bit. I mean, he's going to look at this and think it's soft. He's going to have a few choice words of his own, I bet. Now, after reading through this properly, I'm even more looking forward to the sentencing tomorrow. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Victim impact. The state's going to be showing what sounds to be evidence that wasn't relevant for trial because it didn't work to prove the charges against her, the criminal charges. But now that she has been found guilty of those charges, the state may have an opportunity to introduce as relevant additional evidence that we didn't see at trial about her character, about her bad business, about her lack of ethics, and just continuing the idea that she is the worst person in the world, not just alive today, but throughout history and time, right? All people that have ever lived since early man, add them up, their ages, put them all together, she's the worst of all. And Judge Mazarek, what is his name? I don't think people should be allowed to have a name that is MRZAK or whatever it is. Like, how am I supposed to read that? Is it a silent M? I don't know. Maybe we should go to the comments. Because we had that bad signal. You know what it was? Well, it doesn't matter. It was the VPN, because just before we got this, to get this memorandum, I had to pretend I was in the United States of the USA. And I left it on. Shit! I need a sign up. I'm going to put a sign up. Yeah, it should be good. Should we have a look at a little bit? Well, it's 2 hours long. I was going to look at some of Mr. Bloodworth's closing just because I love him. He's great. Kouri Richins was not a wife. Kouri Richins was not a mother. Kouri Richins was not a businesswoman. What Kouri Richins was a liar, a cheat, a thief, an adulteress, and a murderer, cloaked like a sheep. Let's have a look at little Mr. Bloodworth, huh? And go to the comments. We need to get those comments. Hey, Soap. Don't Don't start doing that. We have to do a lot of business to pay for all of your fancy soaps and powders. Low maintenance. That's what they told me. Low maintenance. Lies. Boom! Look at that. From our good friend and colleague, Laura. Laura with a latte. Cup of coffee. Thank you so much, Laura. What are we doing? We need to go. So, hey, Michelle, how's this broadcast? Is it better now? Is it fantastic now? Let's get that Bloodworth up here. Crazy Bloodworth. But it is 2 hours long, so I doubt we're going to do the whole thing. Bloodworth. Love that guy. Like, he's just his own thing, isn't he? He's not really. You don't see him and put him in a category of other lawyers that you know. I mean, he's his own bag, Bloodworth. Just a bag of blood, and worth every penny.
Kouri Richins is intensely ambitious. Intensely ambitious person. She feels aggrieved because growing up, her father was an alcoholic who traded parenting for prison, and her mother a gambler who traded parenting for a casino. Kouri Richins thus worked.
Traded parenting for a casino. Well, that's a fucking good idea, isn't it? Oh, we're just playing in a casino. If it was owning one, it'd be like, well, one of them is just prints money, and the other option just burns through it. Is anyone so surprised? But no, she was just at the slot machines. Yeah, if anyone looks like a big slot machine junkie, it's fucking what's her name? Darden. Is it Lisa? Lisa Darden. Oh look, we can put it all down like that. That's nice. All like that. And you know what else we'll do? Well, let's just quickly go to Metrix Earth before we lose it. Metrix Earth. Metrix World Earth. Global World Earth. I think that's what I'm going to call it. Metrix Global World Earth.
For her aunt cleaning the homes of rich people in Park City. She was not beneath those homeowners, but she felt that she was. This fueled in her an intense desire to appear privileged, affluent, and successful. She met Eric Richins. He was a successful business owner. He had money. They had a son, married, and had 2 more sons. Kouri Richins was on her way. But she was unhappy. She wanted to leave Eric Richins, but did not want to leave his money. Their prenuptial agreement meant that if she left him, she would also leave most of his money. So, Kouri Richins took $250,000.
Like, how did she think she was getting away with that? You know, even if people do get to the place in their mind where they're just like, you know what? I want out of this marriage. I'm done with this marriage. I want out of this marriage. It's no good. I don't get what I want from this marriage. I'm going to go. But oh no, I'm not going to keep any money. Nothing. Not even one. He gets to keep it all. After how much love and care I put into our home. But then she reads the prenup, right? And it says on the prenup, like, yeah, okay, if you divorce, no money. If he dies, all money. And anyone who's actually gone through the motions in their mind and thought, shall I? I could, if I'm really careful. You know, anyone who's gone even that far would usually back off, right? And go, nah, man. Loads of people get caught doing this and go to jail forever. This is the United States of USA, okay? This is the United States of USA, where they love jail and law and trials. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to back off. I'm just going to go. I'll make more money. Maybe I'll find a better husband with more money. And don't fucking... Does anyone think that she gave a shit about Josh Grossman? I want to know in the comments. Is anyone under the illusion of just like, that was her true motive? Her beating heart, you know? She couldn't stop the love, right, for Josh. So she had to go. And because she's generous, she wanted to get him a really big present. A cake. Big cake. I still hear things like that where people say, oh no, what do they say? You get the idea that she really liked him, which is obviously not true.
In equity out of Eric Richins' home without him knowing it, so that she could start her own business and earn enough money to leave Eric Richins. Kouri Richins is intensely ambitious. First with Eric's money and then other people's money, Kouri Richins carefully curated the facade of a privileged, affluent, successful business owner. Behind the facade, however, Kouri Richins was incompetent. She took tremendous risks. She borrowed money by any means necessary at exorbitant rates. She gambled other people's money and lost. Her business was imploding. All the while, Kouri Richins was more interested in spending time with Josh Grossman than Eric.
That's not what I remember Josh saying. He was always like, when are you coming over? You said you were coming over. We're not going to see you. You're coming over. I got all these balloons. What did he do? I thought we could blow up balloons and then float them away into the sunset. And then, in the morning, we'll get up and do the same thing, but with the sunrise in the east. Jesus. They weren't fucking heart-shaped balloons, were they? All red and pink and white. I mean, just... Well, what do you want to do that for? Just get a couple of steaks and shut the fuck up. We'll do Netflix. How about that? Netflix. I can stay for an hour. Okay? No more. I've got family.
She dreamed of living in the Midway Mansion with Josh, running it as an event center, farming and raising kids. Eric's kids. But she did not have the money to leave Eric or the money to salvage her business. Kouri Richins is an intensely ambitious person. She is a risk taker. There was a way forward. Eric had to die.
A gun may be fired in a flash of anger, a rock carelessly hurled, a shovel swung in sudden fury. But a homicidal poisoning requires a calculating intelligence. Is that... Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, it is calculative. Calculating. You've got to think of quantities. You've got to think of timing, place, location. So quantity, timing, location, cover, right? There's a lot. That's why Valentine's Day, I know, I'll show up there with a sandwich, his favourite one from the Riverside Lake Deli, that he'll wolf down in 3 bites. Won't even taste the difference. He'll think it's that new mustard that he likes. Yes. The whole grain Dijon.
As Judge Mrazek just instructed, there are 5 counts. And each count has a series of elements. The state has to prove each count and each element of each count beyond a reasonable doubt. That is our burden. In this closing, we will go count by count, and then within each count, element by element, to show to you how the state has met its burden of proving aggravated murder, attempted aggravated murder, 2 counts of fraud, and forgery. That, again, is the reasonable doubt instruction that Judge Mrazek just read, and you will have back with you in the jury room.
A reasonable doubt. How many octaves do we need to go down? A reasonable doubt is not a mere possible doubt. A circumstantial doubt, or Mr. Bloodworth. What are we doing, Mr. Bloodworth? As jurors, you will decide whether the defendant is guilty or not guilty. You must base your decision only on the evidence. The evidence usually consists of the testimony and exhibits presented at trial. What was the Muppet that sounds like him? Was it a Muppet or was that someone else? We had another guy. We had the cook, didn't we? The Swedish chef from the Muppets. Who was that? Sushi, 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 sushi. Hello, sushi. Love that.
Judge Rosick also read this instruction on what evidence is, and it's usually testimony and exhibits. To reiterate, what the attorneys say is not evidence. And as I asked you in opening, please focus on the evidence. Throughout this presentation, I generally use this format for slides. And so everybody understands where we are, the count, and then the element within the count is at the top in the red banner. We then quote some witness testimony and we cite it because it's the evidence that matters. So that you'll have the exhibits back with you when you deliberate. And you can reference them. Usually it's a transcript, page, line, number of the testimony. We also publish exhibits. And usually we'll have an exhibit number down here. If there's an exhibit, whatever, 2-5, so you can reference it. Let's begin with the aggravated murder count. The evidence will prove that Kouri Richins was the person who committed the aggravated murder. The evidence will prove that she intentionally or knowingly caused the death of Eric Richins, here by means of administering to him the illicit street drugs that she purchased from Carmen Lauber. She intended to kill him with the illicit street drugs. It doesn't matter what illicit street drugs. We'll get into it more. It doesn't matter if it was the propofol, if it was the fentanyl that actually killed him, if it was oxy or some other illicit street drugs. She bought illicit street drugs to kill Eric Richins. That's what matters. That's murder. These two elements are just murder. Right? If we hide this, that's a murder charge. Here we have an aggravated murder charge, and the state will prove two separate and distinct aggravators. The first is for pecuniary gain. This is a why aggravator. Why did Kouri Richins kill Eric? For money. The second aggravator is a how.
I really like him. He's good. He does some weird things, you know. But that's beautiful, the way he's... This is a why aggravator. How? Why did Kouri kill Eric Richins? You know, it's just real nice, maybe a little slow, but... I don't have I wouldn't get bored yet. I like listening to him. And that
Aggravators.
That's half the battle, isn't it?
How did she do it? Here, by the administration of any substance, here it happens to be fentanyl, but it could be any substance administered in a lethal amount. Either one of those aggravators are what transforms this case from a murder case to an aggravated murder case. So, first element, was it Kouri Richins? Yes. The state has proved that Kouri Richins had the means, here the fentanyl, the illicit street drugs, the motive here, money, and a fresh start at life, and the opportunity to kill Eric Richins. She was the only other adult in the home at the time. Nobody else killed Eric Richins. Now,
not for nothing, I know that there's a lot of people, and quite a few in our core team, that don't like the mother, that think the mother, Kouri's mother, planned it and helped with the poisoning and everything, and was in full knowledge. And yeah, I don't. I've never seen one thing to suggest that. Not even to make me go, that was weird. Nothing. Sorry.
intentionally or knowingly caused the death of Eric Richins by administering the illicit street drugs. The state will prove with all kinds of evidence, testimony, exhibits, patterns of her behavior, and what each of us know about humans.
How is that going to help?
That she intended to cause Eric's death. She intended it probably as early as December the 7th, 2021, when she booked a trip for her and Josh Grossman to the Caribbean for April. People don't book that trip. Kouri Richins did not book that trip thinking Eric Richins would be alive in April. She booked it knowing he would not. In December, before Eric died, before Kouri Richins murdered Eric, she told her friend, Becky Lloyd, in many ways it would be better if he were dead. That proves she intended to cause his death. This was the New York Life policy that covered the C&E buy-sell agreement. And on January the 1st, 2022, Kouri Richins changed the life insurance beneficiary on Cody's policy from Eric to her. The evidence proves that Kouri Richins didn't understand that was Cody's policy. And when she figured it out, she went ahead and changed it back. Because she planned to murder Eric. She did not plan to murder Cody. But she planned to murder. Kouri Richins asked two people, Hayden Jeffs and Carmen Lauber, for the Michael Jackson drug. Kouri Richins was a suburban mother real estate agent. She does not know a lot about the illicit street drug world. But she knows Michael Jackson died from taking drugs. She doesn't know how to order a street drug, but she knows she wants the Michael Jackson stuff. She knows she wants it because it is lethal, it is fatal, it kills. And she wanted lethal, fatal death. Kouri Richins is intense.
Let's just pause for a moment, Mr. Bloodworth, and go to the hotel in, is it St. Martin? That Kouri booked, supposedly for a romantic Caribbean sex weekend, or 10 days. And the place looks unbelievably not that. It looks so corporate and business, and it feels like the place you would have a fucking annual general meeting for a bunch of dentists. You know, Charlie Adelson's probably been there for work. They don't even allow jet skis on the beach. Let's have a look at that. Always like looking around some places. Some hotels. Oh. Okay. I mean, even the what do you call that? The bay. Is that a bay? Or is it a what's the other word for that? I've been learning them all from the hooker case. We've got to cover that soon, but not today. I mean, where's the rooms? Look at this. Does that look like a romantic, you know, a romantic lair of forbidden love? Not much. But maybe for Josh Grossman. I mean, what would he do in there? He's not affluent or business. He just, you couldn't think of a place that he would fit into less than this. What do you call those? Jizz? A Rondike. Is that what it is? Again, it just looks like a fucking Premier Inn. It's basic. I mean, it's newly done. At least there's that, but a lot of them are. A lot of the hotels that are $40 fucking a night are like that. Bed, that looks pretty good. The bed there, but again, it just feels like a hotel, you know. I mean, there's an expensive pillow. I mean, you got to say those linens are pretty nice. But the palm tree thing behind the bed, horrible. Feels like a fucking elevator. Oh look, that's where they marry. Do you think he would have proposed? I bet he would have fucking proposed. Come on, I want to take you down to the beach. Yeah, I know it's 11 at night. I figured there'd be no people there. I don't want to do it in front of people. They might see me cry. It's all right, Josh. Keep it up. Oh, I bet she'd have lapped that up, eh? Yeah, every day, book a massage. And she'd get a man, wouldn't she? She'd get a big man to come and squeeze her spine. Yeah. All right, Bloodworth, what you got for us?
ambitious. She wanted the perfect life, or at least the appearance of the perfect life. And for her, that meant Josh Grossman. But first, Eric had to go away.
So with these transactions, when Carmen hit you up, what did she tell you?
She just told me that she had a friend that wanted,
Did she ask for blue specifically or fentanyl specifically, or did she ask for oxygen? What did she ask for?
I think she might have asked for blue. I can't remember.
But you sold her M30s, right?
Yeah, I told her what she knew what she was buying.
Okay, so it wasn't like she's asking for oxys or something like that, and she got the M30s.
Right, no.
Okay, so she knew that there was fentanyl in those pills.
At Kouri Richins' request, Carmen Lauber purchased illicit street drugs from Robert Crozier. It's those illicit street drugs that killed Eric Richins. It's those illicit street drugs that Kouri used to murder Eric Richins. And while there may be some question as to whether she specifically ordered fentanyl or she knew she was getting fentanyl, the evidence proves she at least knew it. She wanted fatal, lethal, illicit street drugs. And all the testimony from Carmen Lauber, Robert Crozier, digital forensics, we'll get into it, all confirm that Kouri Richins ordered and received illicit street drugs, and that those street drugs contained fentanyl. Illicit street drugs is all that matters. But you heard the testimony that despite confusion in what people were ordering, people were getting fentanyl. The fake M30s looked like the real, the fake M30s looked like the real M30s. Everything on the street in early 2022 had fentanyl. That's how we know that it was this purchase that ended up killing Eric. It's the fentanyl. We can trace the fentanyl. Next slide. The digital forensics corroborate Carmen Lauber's testimony that 5 days before Kouri Richins murdered Eric Richins, Carmen Lauber purchased for Kouri Richins fentanyl from Robert Crozier at the Maverick in Draper.
Acapellas here. Okay, we got the chat up. Let's get this chat. Still got the old chat on the screen. This is no good. This is no good for anybody. Not for you, not for me. Not for the viewer. And that's what counts. $40 a night? Have I time traveled to the early 80s? If so, do I still have time to prevent reality television from developing? Yeah. And have a fucking word with George Lucas. Well, get in your time machine. Go earlier. Have a word with George Lucas and tell him to fuck off. No, like, who gives a shit? You know? Really? Star Wars? And people say to me, oh, what, you've never seen it? Oh, so you don't know. Fuck you, I don't care. Fucking spaceship. It's bollocks. It's bollocks.
Call detail records show an extraordinary
Bethany miles. How many miles? And now convert them to kilometers. Add them together and you have your own age.
amount of overlapping
Sorry, you have to subtract 5, then you have your own age.
communication between Carmen Lauber, Kouri Richins, Carmen Lauber, Robert Crozier during that time. We, of course, don't have the communications. Carmen Lauber deleted them because they were evidence of a drug deal. Kouri Richins deleted them because they were evidence of a drug deal and a murder.
Can you imagine how many text messages? What is the percentage of all text messages sent on planet Earth in any given day? What percentage of them are drug related? It's got to be high.
Robert Crozier said he had lost his phone. But that's an extraordinary number of communications. We know that Kouri Richins, the evidence proves that Kouri Richins used a Moscow Mule and a shot to administer the fentanyl to Eric. She writes it in her orange notebook where she journals what happened the night she murdered Eric. It's a self-serving journal. We'll discuss that down the road. But she wrote Moscow Mule and a lemon drop shot. And that is consistent with all the toxicology. Again, in the notes that investigators recovered from the kitchen cabinet in Kouri Richins' home, she wrote Moscow Mules. Lemon water, vodka, and rum. She left out the main ingredient, which of course is the ginger beer. But there was ginger beer. We know that from the Cock and Bull that OME investigator Cam Sessions found in the trash can in the kitchen. It's interesting that Kouri Richins wrote vodka in parentheses rum. The evidence may show that the Moscow Mule she made that night was ginger beer and fentanyl. The lemon drop shot may be lemon and fentanyl. Notice that here she writes drink in bed. We'll come back to that in a minute. The Cock and Bull, as I mentioned, corroborates at least the Moscow Mule. And that we know the cause of death from the death certificate was fentanyl. The fentanyl and the illicit street drugs that Kouri Richins got from Carmen Lauber, who got from Robert Crozier. We know that Eric ingested the fentanyl from the Moscow Mule, the lemon drop shop, or both. Medical examiner Dr. Pamela Ulmer, toxicologist Brianna Peterson, chief medical examiner Dr. Eric Christensen, all testified that the 20,000 nanograms per milliliter of fentanyl, an extraordinary amount, in his stomach indicates oral ingestion. Indeed, Dr. Christensen not only testified to it, he told Kouri Richins that in their phone call that she recorded.
She recorded her own horrific bad evidence against you, fishing from the medical examiner's office, you know. It wasn't lung mold, was it? I woke up this morning, I had a feeling. Lung mold. Like his mother before.
Ms. Peterson's testimony, as well as Dr. Christensen, also proves that the fentanyl was illicit. Again, illicit coming from the street, illegal street drug, illicit fentanyl. And that it was their testimony, right, was that there was not only fentanyl in the toxicology, but there was norfentanyl, which was a marker of an illicit fentanyl. There's also acetyl fentanyl as well. But it's the norfentanyl that is a marker of illicit fentanyl, which completely tracks with how Kouri Richins got the illicit street drugs. We also know that Kouri Richins intended to kill Eric Richins because the toxicology contained quetiapine.
Your Honor, we may have lost the audio.
Let's reset. My apologies.
Quetiapine is an antipsychotic medication.
Last one. What is quetiapine?
The only space movie worth anything is, Bill Pullman and John Candy in Spaceballs.
Quetiapine.
Quetiapine is an antipsychotic medication. It's called Seroquel.
I watched Interstellar once, and I didn't want to watch it because it sounded like a fucking load of shit. And I watched it, and it was never gonna watch that again. Fucking long as well. That was a plus.
Okay. Gotcha.
It's a prescription, mental health medication that's prescribed for different things.
I gotcha.
I got you. Oh my gosh. Oh my golly good gosh. Cartel? He was just down in Mexico. What was he up to?
My opinion in the toxicology for Eric Richins shows that Kouri Richins was involved because she was prescribed quetiapine. Now, this conversation that she recorded with Dr. Christensen is also very insightful. She pretends to not know what quetiapine is. It's her prescription. Of course she knows what it is. She pretends to not know what it is to cover up her involvement in putting the quetiapine inside Eric's body. She feigns the ignorance. She covers up her conduct in murdering Eric Richins in several ways throughout, beginning the night she murdered him, all the way through the walk the dog letter. In the orange notebook, she writes, she jumped out of bed, ran, turned on the lights, grabbed her phone, and called 911. The evidence proves that is not true. The evidence proves that
Look at that. Beautiful.
when she
Timeline. That's how you do a timeline in Utah. Right? Not that rash-bound fucking unordered, all mixed up, hard to interpret. Didn't even have even time, sections along the x-axis. Ooh, technical. This is how it's done. In fact, every one of his slides, was it yesterday? Whoa, another cup of coffee from our good friend and colleague in the Canadians. Hello, Canadians. Thank you so much, Laura, for this great super sticker, and it really is super. It's mega. What's better than super or mega? I can't think of anything. Mega super sticker me up. Thank you so much, Laura.
returned to their bedroom, Kouri Richins says she was in Ashton's room. There's no evidence of that. But she returned from somewhere to their bedroom, unlocked her phone, put it on speaker. There's no call detail records showing a call at that time. But she may have called on Wi-Fi. Somebody. That would not appear in the call detail records. It would appear on her phone if her phone had not been deleted.
Neverly. French vanilla all the way. Pong.
Objection, Your Honor. These are facts that are
Overruled.
not.
Please have a seat.
Oh, thank you so much, Amanda Chapman. Charlie Chapman. Yeah. No, that was the other day, wasn't it? But thank you so much, Amanda. Great. PayPal. Who knew? You do.
She then unlocked her phone again at 3:08, 3:10, 3:15, 3:19, 3:19. And then 15 minutes later, she called 911. That is not immediately called 911.
I immediately
Perhaps
called
she was
911.
staging the scene during these 15.
Yeah, but your phone says that it was unlocked for 33 minutes and had no activity. No, I meant immediately after trying to resuscitate him with the CPR. Yeah, and then I did it with dispatch on the phone. I had to drag him off the bed. It was horrific. I'm traumatized and need compensation and state-paid therapy.
15 minutes. We're going to discuss.
No, the sentencing didn't happen last night, Kiwi. It's happening tomorrow at 11:30 EST, top of the hour. Too sweet to be sour. We're going to jail.
The 911 call in a minute. This is a receiver activation. At 3:22:12, when we're in the 911 call,
Neverly says, now we know that she was locked in the room with Eric while he was dying. Made sure no one comes in and interrupts the process. think about the level of intention and nerve. Is that how you read the statement of the son? I read it that Eric was locked in on his own, because when the boy was trying to knock down the key with the broom that was on the outside of the door, and Kouri saw him and scolded him. So, did I read that wrong? I took that to mean that Kouri was outside the room. Or did she come out? I mean, should we go back to the letter? We better double check facts. Where is it? How do I search the... Oh, here, yeah. The television was playing loudly inside his parents' bedroom. When AR tried to enter, he found he was locked out. AR used a broom to try to dislodge a key from above the door frame, intending to unlock the door and enter the bedroom. AR accidentally hit the wall with the broom, making a noise that attracted his mother's attention. She yelled at AR to go away. She later entered his room. So I suppose she could have been in the room and yelled through the door. She later entered his room and asked him what he needed. I pretended to be asleep because he was angry with her. Later during the night, he put a bed early on. Kind of surprises me that Kouri would choose to be in there, though. But I guess that seems likely from this, yeah. Although not, unequivocal.
She's on receiver on her phone. The 911 call operator asks her, "Are you on speakerphone?" She says yes. No. She's on receiver. Before we play this, sorry. We're going to listen to the first part, actually most of the 911 call again. I ask that as you listen to it, you'll hear the first minute. The first minute is not the sound of a wife becoming a widow. To echo her friend Chelsea Barney, the first minute is the sound of a wife becoming a black widow.
The sound of a wife becoming a black widow. What does that mean? Did black widow spiders kill the male after mating? I thought that was just a praying mantis. guess it's possible.
Listen to how Kouri Richins on the 911 call immediately presents, or very soon after the call begins, presents her alibi narrative. Listen to how she tells the 911 dispatcher where she was when Eric died. She is distancing herself. Rather than, he's not breathing, he has no pulse, I have to figure out what to do, I need help. She's saying, hey, look, I was not there, I was in my son's room. That's her alibi. She's distancing herself from the time and the place that she murdered Eric.
Mute. Look at her face. She's like, yeah, oh, that's what I did, is it? Yeah, no, yeah, sure, yeah. Whatever. She's so basic. She's formaldehyded herself in despair. Never grown past, she's like a 16-year-old child, isn't she? Being a bitch. You know what yeah. All of the expressions, the bad dress sense. What's with that dress sense? I heard Gazella K today say that will she, won't she, Kouri Richins, be in civilian clothes for sentencing, which I was kind of surprised at, unless she knows something that I am completely ignorant to. But of course she's not going to be in civilian clothes tomorrow. When does that happen? I've never seen a defendant come in a month later or 2 months later for sentencing wearing, a suit or whatever it is that she wears. I don't even know what it is. I know everything has a weird neck. Even this, John Travolta had the same shirt in Saturday Night Fever. Right, when he has that pizza walking along the road. Being a dick to everybody in New York. All at once.
The 911 call operator asks her to perform CPR. Notice how she distances herself from that. No, I don't know how. No, he's too heavy. No, I can't move him. She is not immediately trying to revive him. We're going to run a clock from the time that the dispatcher asks her if she can start CPR to the time she purportedly starts.
Kouri didn't even go through it that far in her mind and think to herself, okay, when I call it in, they're probably going to get me or ask me to do, some life-saving attempt of some description, at least until first responders get there. And I'm going to have to be convincing. I'm going to have to sound like I'm cooperative, but absolutely not perform any possible life-saving technique that could bring him back to be living in life, alive. Lazy with her business as well, because I think Kouri Richins' business was just all about saying whatever to get a yes, right? Which is the easiest fucking thing in the world to sell, right? And she wasn't even good at that. You know? If you say to someone, listen, what I can do for you today is for $15.99 per month, which is just it's less than a True Crime Metrix membership, right? A month. Not really. We're very cheap now. $5. Become a member, a Metrix member. What was I saying? Kouri Richins' selling style. Yeah, she's like, yeah, no, what I can do for you today is for $15.99, I can give you the Mountain Diamond package with all extras included. You know, you don't even need to pay for drinks. And then when it comes down to, you know, she makes a success because they, of course, go, Diamond Mountain package and all drinks free for $15.99. Yes, please. And she thinks that's a success. She's like, yep, closed another deal. Entrepreneur. Business ninja. Yeah. But when it comes down to profit and loss, all the money's been spent. And she just goes on to the next project. I've seen this before, people that do that. They just go and get a deal with no intention of, you know, fulfilling their commitment, promise, Metrix promise. And then, you know, when it comes to actually providing the service or doing whatever it is, they just leave. And they know a certain percent of people won't even chase them for their money back. And that becomes their business model, which does nothing apart from damage your reputation and affect future sales. Bad news.
Starts it. It's 6 minutes. Listen, please, to the portion of the 911 call where the operator instructs Kouri Richins how to remove Eric from the bed. Listen how
Drag him off.
dispatch.
Okay, are you listening? I'm going to have to explain a procedure. What we're going to have to actually do is a medical procedure called drag him off the bed.
Dispatcher says, move to the side of the bed. Kouri Richins says she does. Remove the pillows. Pull the arm, pull the leg, lift up the sheath, pull him off. If Kouri Richins is following the instructions of the 911 dispatcher, Eric Richins' body is on the floor on the side of the bed, not the foot of the bed where it was found. Listen also to her choice of language. She has dehumanized Eric Richins.
They all do that, don't they?
When she is talking about removing...
Those children were his world. Well, as well as his work. God, even if you hate your ex-husband, why would you say that ever? Well as his work. Don't forget, very committed to his work. Work came first.
Eric from the bed, and she is protesting, and she is saying she cannot. She is not saying, I can't move him. She is saying, I can't move it. Eric is no longer a him to him. She murdered Eric. Eric is an it. Finally, listen to when she says she is performing.
How do you know she wasn't talking about the comforter? I can't move the comforter because it's under his heavy body, human body. I'm not dehumanizing it at all. That prosecutor was crooked, bent, corrupt, you know, probably taking bribes, under the table kind of bribes. Yeah. I was referring to the comforter.
CPR, and the phone is on speaker.
What is she trying to do? She's making that face so that it can be seen, right? It's like when Donna starts crying and it's like this. No one does that unless they really want you to know that they're upset.
The phone's not on speaker. Determine whether she's performing CPR. Okay, Scott.
Just before that, I read that she was in with him and screamed from inside the room. Let's fact check. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. Good. Facts. It's our new thing.
I'm not breathing. Too cold. Okay, what's the address? 282 Willow Court.
Is she trying to sound like she's just woken up? You know? I woke up 3 a.m. Very tired. You know, that's another thing that people do, isn't it? Pretend to be tired. And if you are pretending to be tired, it's fucking obvious. And you shouldn't do it because you look like a fucking right twat. What else? 282. Oh, so tired. Willow. Willow Court. I just got up. Sorry. You know, if you're in a situation where you've discovered your husband is not breathing, you wake up immediately. You've never been so awake in your life.
282 Willow Court. Okay, what's a good phone number in case we get disconnected?
Oh yeah, hit that like button and beat the fuck out of it. Beat the fuck out of subscribe. You know. Make 'em bleed. I ain't watching.
35 671 1987. Okay, is this going to be in Francis? Okay, tell me exactly what happened. I don't know. I just came in. I was sleeping with my kids. Okay, I can't understand you. I need you to take a deep breath. What's going on? I don't know. I was sleeping in with my kids. I just came in our bed, and I turned over. I mean, he's just cold. He's just cold. Who's cold? My husband. I turned the light on. He's not breathing? No. He's not breathing? No. I need you to confirm it for me. Is he not breathing? No. Okay, can you do CPR? No, I don't know how. You don't know? I'm going to tell you how to. Are you willing to do CPR? Yeah. Okay.
Maybe.
If there's a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me.
Now, if you think it's absolutely necessary, I will be willing to try to attempt. I can try to attempt to follow your instructions. If you give them to me very slowly and let me have time to draw myself a diagram to refer to at a later stage. How's that ambulance doing? They're not lost, are they?
Tell me when you have it. No, it's not available. Okay, I'm sending the paramedics to help you now. Stay on the line and I'll tell you exactly what to do next. Okay?
Look at that hand there. That's a Richins hand. That's definitely a Richins hand. That's a Richins... What is it? Benson. That's Richins Benson, isn't it? I know.
Okay?
Or that the sex company gave me call.
Okay, are you right by your husband? Yeah, he's so pale. His mouth is open. Okay, listen carefully. Are you able to lay him on the floor or the ground? On the floor, on the ground? I'm just thinking. I can't touch him. I can't. You can do it. You can do it. You need to calm down. Okay? Yellow. We need to help him. I can guide you through CPR.
He's yellow. Fucking George Torres is purple. I mean, you know, what's yellow and purple? Royalty, right? Royalty. That's the color. That's the color of brands that want to convey luxury and royalty.
Take a deep breath for me. I'm here with you.
Hey, that's the name of my book. Are you with me? I'm here with you. Are you with me? Like their dad is with them. You're a ghost, following me throughout life. At all of the occasions and important landmarks you'll miss because you're dead. Are you with me?
He doesn't have a pulse. He doesn't have a pulse.
Yeah, lady, we've got no pulse. He's yellow, cold, not moving, no breath. I don't think CPR is going to help, but I am willing to try to attempt to find a way to maybe follow your instructions if you give me enough time and let me draw a diagram to refer to at a later stage. So, how's that ambulance doing?
No. There's no pulse.
How many roll neck sweaters do you think get sold in Utah per day? 500, 600,000?
I'll be an
Okay.
Olive Oil's getting angry. Do you think she sounds like Olive Oil? I'm trying to remember anything Olive Oil said. Trying to remember anything Popeye said. Not much, right? What does Popeye say? He must have a catchphrase. Probably something to do with spinach. We gotta check. What does Popeye say? I went to that place where they made the movie. It was the first time I ever heard that song. You know? What was that song? Dun 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 dun. What was that called, that song? Derek would know immediately. Where's Derek? What was Popeye's catchphrase? I am what I am. That's all I am. I am what I am, and that's all I am. Yeah, I remember that. I'm strong to the finish, 'cause I eats me spinach. It wasn't that good, was it, really? What was the bad guy called? Bluto. He was funny. It was the Goons I liked. Was it the Goons where he went to that island and all those weird goons were there?
I'm here with you. I didn't hear anything. I was just gonna do it. I'm here with you. We need to get him help.
Oh, look, there we go. Kiwi Vanderman got it. I am what I am, and I am. I remember it now. It's just not, it's not that good, is it? I'm starting to think that maybe, Popeye was just a big fucking con. What did it bring us? Apart from Wimpy Burger. Which, you know, I mean... Wimpy Burger... their fries are good.
If you need to put me on speaker, put me on speaker. I'm gonna guide you through CPR, okay? Okay. Tell me when you've done that.
Okay, I'm ready.
You ready? Okay, he's on the floor.
I'm ready.
He's on the bed.
Is he ready?
Okay, are you able by any chance to move him on the floor?
Oh, this is horrific, isn't it? Can you imagine what that would be like as a family member to listen to some fucking bad actor who's just murdered your son and brother piss about on the 911 call going, I don't know how to do it. He's cold and gold and, you know, yellow. He's all yellow and cold. What's the number for body removal? She really speaks to it like, yeah, she has the same urgency as someone that's wondering where the Best Buy Geek Squad guy is coming round, right? When am I getting my service, my body removal service? Because you said between 9 and 12, and it's now 1:40. Not impressed.
Thoughts on it. I don't know what's happening.
Okay. I'm here with you. Are you not able to move him to the floor?
Go out. Don't come in here.
Oh, hey, Neville, where's Neville? Do you think that is when the boy was trying to get in the room with the broom? There was a little tap, right? And she didn't yell, but there was some urgency there. You could say it was a yell, in a way. And you got to think that if the boy had already discovered that the door was locked from a previous occasion with the broom and already been scolded, why would he come back knowing that the door is locked and he's going to get in trouble again? I think that was probably the moment where the boy was with the broom out there in the hall, frantically trying to save his dad, and was sent away, just sent away.
Oh my God, my sister.
You're not able to move him to the floor? Just listen carefully. We just need to get him on the floor. Don't worry about hurting them.
No, he's just too heavy.
Is he still on the bed?
Yes.
Okay, if there's a sheet or a blanket under them, can you loosen it from the mattress?
It's all folded under, and, you know, the weight of it is weighing everything down. So, you know, maybe if you could tell your team, body removal, to bring some kind of pry bar, maybe we could get it out sooner. Tonight. And if we could have him cremated tonight, those were his dying wishes. We have to honor that. Immediate cremation with no questions.
Yes.
Okay, stand at the side of the bed closest to them and remove anything under their head.
Okay.
Okay? I need you to pull the sheets towards you and slide them off the bed. Don't worry about him falling. We just need to help him now.
Okay.
Tell me when he's on the floor.
We just hear silence. There should be like this crashing thing, you know, nightstand getting tipped over, lamps falling against the wall, you know, all the clattering and the phone falling off the bed. No, there's just like, it's heavy. It's really heavy. He's not moving.
I can't move it. It's a dead weight. Like it's just... You're not. If he has sheets under, pull them to the floor. Don't worry about hurting him.
Dead weight. Prior knowledge. Consciousness of guilt.
Can you please send somebody? Okay, I have the ambulance that's on the way. Okay.
I need a team. Usually when I do my house renovations, I have a team for the heavy. And if we need to do something heavy, we have a heavy team. Can you bring a team?
There's another way to do this, okay? Grab their feet. Grab his feet.
There's another way to do this, right? You know, you don't have to pick him up. You can pull him off. Oh. Hey, Kouri, there's this thing called gravity, okay? And what it does is it keeps things in place. Or down, in place.
Slide them towards
There
you.
he is. Look at him. Look at him there. Look at him. What's he doing right now? He's not going to sleep tonight, is he? He's probably still in chambers. Hasn't left chambers. He's working on a fucking sentence. This crime was the most heinous crime in Utah ever. And we must protect the public, and you will be punished for being a bitch.
And so they're just off the bed. How old is your husband?
39.
39?
Yeah.
Hey.
Okay.
What a great age. Solid.
Okay, were you able to put his feet off the bed?
I'm pulling.
Okay, now grab the arm closest to you and pull the rest of the way off the bed. Again, don't worry about the fall. We just need to help them now. I have the ambulance on the way. I just need you to do this, okay, so we can get the help for him.
Okay.
When they arrive, they'll take over. We just need to start CPR now. You are doing great, okay? I just need you to get him on the floor.
Okay, on the floor.
You got him on the floor?
Yeah.
Okay, listen carefully, okay? Make sure that there's nothing under his head. Is he laying flat on his back?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, just listen carefully and I'll tell you how to do chest compressions, okay?
Okay.
Place the heel of your hand on the breastbone, which is in the center of the chest, right between the nipples.
Okay.
Put your other hand on top of that hand.
Okay.
Okay? Start pumping the chest hard and fast, at least twice per second, and 2 inches deep.
Okay.
Okay, start counting out loud so I can count with you, okay?
2 inches deep.
We're gonna count 1, 2, 3,
Break
4,
his
okay?
fucking rib
Let me
cage.
know when you're ready.
2 inches is like, you know, that's a lot. They're not, you know, soft bones.
1,
1, 2, 3, 4.
Is that it? Now is the paramedic coming?
1, 2, 3, 4. Count out loud so I can hear you. I'm counting with you. 1, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3,
She's actually
4.
out of
1,
rhythm.
2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. If it's easier for you, am I on speaker?
Yes.
Okay. 1,
No, I'm doing
2,
it
3,
with one
4.
hand.
Do you know if the front door is open?
No, it's locked.
It's not. Are you? I need you to go. Is there anybody else within the home, or is it just you?
It's all my kids.
Okay. Are one of them old enough to go unlock the door?
Kouri.
Yeah, it's unlocked.
Yeah, you hear the reluctance. Oh, yeah, it's unlocked. What, do they need to come in, do they? Can't I just throw the body out the window to the removal team? Can they bring maybe a trampoline that they can catch the body? I mean, he's going to be cremated anyway, so any bruising that happens in removal, we don't mind. There's no open caskets. Do what you want. I ain't looking.
It's unlocked now.
Yeah, he's here. He's there.
Okay.
Hit the. Yeah. The protesting that was part of the 6-minute delay in Kouri Richins performing CPR. I can't move it. It is just dead weight. Contrast that 911 call with her self-serving text message to her best friend, Chelsea Barney. I tried so fucking hard to save him, his lifeless body on my bedroom floor. I pumped so damn hard, so hard, screaming at him to come back to life, that I needed.
I just tried Chelsea so fucking hard to save him. His lifeless body on my bedroom floor. I pumped so damn hard, screaming at him to come back to life, that I needed him. He was gone, Chelsea. Just fucking gone. He never even gave me a sign he needed fucking help. I would have woken up. I could have helped him. This is so fucked up. What is it with these fucking liars where they're so bad at it? They don't know how to come up with a believable way that a person that had actually been in the situation described here. Kouri Richins has no way of knowing what that would sound like in reality, like at all, right? Just doesn't know. So you'd think, but I guess she doesn't know that she doesn't know. She thinks all people think like this and talk like this. They don't. Have you ever seen TV? Because there's people on TV and they don't say stuff like this. If they did, they wouldn't have a job because they get paid to act. If you want to learn how to act, watch actors. And look for the actors that you never see act when they're acting. John Mahoney is one. People used to say about John Mahoney, he's so good because I never saw him act.
tried so fucking hard to save him, his lifeless body on my bedroom floor. I pumped so damn hard, so hard, screaming at him to come back to life, that I needed him. None of that happened. She's covering up her involvement in murdering Eric Richins. Recall the alibi narrative at the beginning of the 911 call. Her letting the 911 operator and everyone know that she was not with Eric when he died. I was somewhere else. I was distant in place and time. When she calls her father-in-law, Eric's dad, Gene Richins, what does she say right at the outset? I was sleeping with Asha and I came into the room. Gene, I wasn't there. Wasn't me. When Eric's sister Katie arrives, he wasn't breathing. I went to bed. I was in Ashton's room. He was having nightmares. I wasn't there.
Yeah, exactly. You know, Kouri Richins has no way of seeing that information that she's, you know, purposely choosing to convey when other information would be so much more relevant and needed to the people that are receiving it. She has no way of knowing that no one thinks that's important. No one would think that's important. The person saying it, the person who actually did it, which of course she didn't, wouldn't even think about it. It wouldn't even be in your mind. You wouldn't know where you slept. You wouldn't remember that you were sleeping in Ashton's room. Your brain would be 100% on rescue, resuscitation, grief. No, shock grief. Right? That's how it goes. Rescue, resuscitation, shock, grief, acceptance.
Was not me. Her alibi. Her cover-up. This is the written form that sheriff's deputies gave Kouri Richins early morning of March 4th to write out what happened. It says, describe in detail what you saw, know, or heard of the incident. Where does she start? Eric and I put the kids to bed around 9 p.m. We had a drink. In Kouri Richins' mind, that's when the incident started. It was the drink, and she knew it because she put the fentanyl in the drink. She didn't start with, I walked into the bedroom at 3 a.m. My husband was not breathing and cold. Describe the incident. The incident for her begins around 9:15 when she has the drink, because she knows that is in fact when the incident began. And then more of her self-serving alibi narrative. It wasn't me, I wasn't there. Before she gets into really what matters. Intentionally or knowingly caused the death of Eric Richins. We know it was intentional because she planned the immediate reaction. When she spoke with Eric's sister, Katie, very shortly after medical examiners rolled Eric Richins' body out of his home for the last time, she told Katie that she was going to plan she was going to follow through with the purchase of the Midway mansion. She was going to sell the home that she was living in. And she had a plan for running Eric's business, C&E. The morning of Eric's death. She had those plans in place because she knew she was going to murder Eric. She had already thought about not only...
Kouri, make your face. That's a great moment for you to go, what is the face she does?
Oh, I did I?
It's a great face. It's called the Kouri. It's just called the Kouri now. That's what they're all calling it online. Can you do it? Try it. Do it in the mirror. It's fun.
Only murdering him, but what I'm doing immediately after murdering him. Her plan with the Midway Mansion is consistent with her dream of living there with Josh Grossman, running it as an event center, farming, and raising Eric's kids. Her plan to sell the home she lived in.
God. Should we have that just before we depart the airways? What is it? How do we get that? How do we get that immediately? Hey, Soap. It's daylight. Why don't you go and, you know, find a way to invest in a new nasal passage. A whole respiratory system. Only $2.99. And one kiss. What was the, you know, the text messages? I know it's in the opening statement. I was just thinking if I could get it now. Have a little farm? Deal? Raise some kids? Deal? If I divorced tomorrow and asked you to marry me, you would? Oh, God. Fucking horrible person. And tomorrow she'll be sent away forever. 11:30 EST. We've got to make this accessible for the blind. Hang on. Not the blind, the deaf. And the blind. What are you watching YouTube for? It's a waste of time. 11:30 a.m. EST. Live. Awesome. Well, fucks me up when something happens that's not in EST because I'm thinking 11:30. So that's another 2 hours to Utah, which makes it 8 hours after me. So that'll be 7 in the evening, my time. No, it's basically we're going to be on from 11-ish. So that's pretty soon. So catch you later. Get some rests. It's verdict day. No. Sentencing day. Verdict day has already been and gone. Well, one of them shall be verdict again for the remaining charges. Yeah, we want to give her life plus, what was it? Plus life plus 15 plus 15 plus 5. So that's life and 35 years plus. Then she's coming back for her other charges. Okay. So I guess we'll go now. Stop yawning into the camera. And we'll be back tomorrow. Morning. Early. I'm thinking, what should we have for breakfast? It's breakfast Metrix tomorrow. So eggs. Just eggs. Just 2 eggs. That's all. Whole. Okay, everybody have a great evening. A good rest, if you can, with all the anticipation and uproar. Thanks so much for coming. Thank you for chatting. Thank you for super chatting. Thank you for super coffee go getting, super sticker giving, and super bulletproof Metrix moderating from Neverly, from Acapella, from Christina, from everybody. Everybody. From Michelle and everybody. Good job. Celia Triolo. We'll see you tomorrow. Bethany Miles. Good night. Sea Lust. Sea Lust. Seal Oost. Yeah. Good to see you. Okay, thanks guys. And let's have a look at the Kouri Richins sentencing tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard on Metrix live. Boom. Cue tape, please.